All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome. We're glad to have everyone here. We're glad to have everyone here on this call today. You are welcome. Let's begin to dial in. If you have colleagues that should also be on this call, please let's encourage them to dial in. We'll just wait a few minutes and we'll get started immediately for others to join us. You can engage on the chat window. Let's see. Welcome, Melchizedek. Welcome, Raphael. Welcome. You're all welcome. Good evening. Good evening, sirs. Good evening, Mars. We are all welcome. My colleagues are also available on the chat to answer your questions and provide us with information as required. Okay. So just welcome, Lawrence. Welcome, Iron Fair. Welcome, Esther. Welcome, Decoder. Good evening to everyone. Okay, this is the voice of Fumini Oladapo, and I'll be starting us off this evening, introducing us to Data Science Nigeria as usual. And if you have any questions you want to reach out, please just use the chat window. Let's keep our microphones muted, and my colleagues will answer all your questions on the chat window. Okay, currently we're at 38 participants. Okay, great. Welcome, everybody. Okay, great. So we're starting right away. Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again. Welcome. Great, great, great. Our colleagues are dialing in. Awesome. All right, so welcome to day 4 of Train the Teacher workshop, organized by Data Science Nigeria. I'll be introducing us to Data Science Nigeria over the next few minutes, just to get us all a brief to what we do at Data Science Nigeria and how this all ties into the vision of Data Science Nigeria. So Data Science Nigeria is a registered non-governmental organization that has a vision to build a world-class AI knowledge, research, and innovation ecosystem. So this workshop is part of our agenda of building a world-class ecosystem of artificial intelligence, knowledge, research, and innovation through the use of, and we will deliver transformational, high impact and transformational research, business use applications, AI first startups, employability, and social good use cases. And we'll see as we go on in this presentation how we have been doing all this over the years. And the idea is that in 10 years, Nigeria becomes one of the top 10 AI talent and knowledge destinations in the world, over 20% GDP multiplier impact. Okay, so here are some of our achievements in the last few years. We've had over 22,000 online participants in data science courses from registration to at least one class, over 3,000 hours of face-to-face classes in data science and machine learning applications organized in different states of Nigeria. We are currently in 41 communities across Nigeria, campuses and in cities. We've also had over 300,000 YouTube views of our 100 days of machine learning classes from beginner to expert level. We've had over 1 million downloads of our unique AI Plus, our AI introduction book, which brings AI to beginners with over 99 use cases. Our AI knowledge box is also available as an offline content with over 17,000 videos for members of our AI Plus communities around the country to get access to this content. And these are carefully created, even with data sets, to ensure that even where there's no internet or there's poor internet, people can access AI knowledge. Okay. And we are highly humbled as we won the Masai Impact Award in 2019, which was awarded at Deep Learning in Daba. Deep Learning in Daba is Africa's biggest conference and coming together of AI and data science communities. And we won the highest award at this as a proof of our impact through hundreds of thousands trained via online, offline, face-to-face, hands-on skills development, and job placement. We also won the best academic poster at the ACM conference on economics and computation. And this was a very big win for us as a non-academic institution, but going ahead to win the best poster at an international conference, which was proof of our commitment to high impact and transformational research. We are also currently the only African finalist at the X Prize competition, the Pandemic Response Challenge. This competition is a worldwide challenge, is a huge challenge currently ongoing. And as a matter of fact, we have people like even Elon Musk that have commented and are part of uh, this, that have made impact on this challenge. It's a very, very big challenge, and we are highly humbled to be the only African finalist in this challenge, where we are developing AI-driven models to predict COVID-19 infection rates and prescribe actions for safely reopening the society and limiting economic impact while minimizing COVID-19 transmissions. Okay, here are some of the milestones like I mentioned earlier. Okay, we also run the biggest AI learning platform, the biggest and free AI learning platform. You see that this workshop is currently free, and all our AI plus activities as well are all free, right? And we run this across campuses, cities, online and offline, project-based and content development. Okay, here are our segments. You can see we have face-to-face, online, offline, and even we have hands-on. And the idea is that from beginners to professionals and C-level executives, there is something for everyone, where everyone can come into the AI ecosystem, make impact, and also get all that they need to make impact in this community. We also run the biggest and most competitive AI bootcamp in Nigeria, where we have over 30 international speakers, local and international, coming to teach the best of the best in Nigeria AI. We have a learning hackathon where participants participate, and the best of the best are selected to come for our 5-day immersive bootcamp. Right here in this picture is Emeritus Professor Thomas Dietrich, who is one of the founding fathers of machine learning in the world. He was live at Lagos in 2019, where we had our last on-site bootcamp. 2020 bootcamp was totally virtual due to the COVID-19 restrictions. But here we had him last year, and he was also at the 2020 bootcamp as well. So we also scale up professionals by training companies and government agencies as we look to build a world-class AI ecosystem. We are highly involved in training companies and government efforts. Yes, so the lecture videos will also be available after each class and after each session. We are doing our best to make sure this is provided as soon as possible, so please bear with us. Thank you. So we're also involved in training of professionals and also people at our AI hub, which is open now, where we run classes, free classes. Our training for professionals, however, are paid, and details on this are available on the last slide. Okay, so we have our AI Plus for kids and teens community, which specifically targets kids and teens. It's a free community. Our AI Plus Club for schools, where we offer kids an entrance into STEM. And we have the first beginners AI book and Python programming book for kids in Africa. We can access this through these links. My colleagues will provide us with the links to, if you want to get the book, you can order it online. You can also make bulk purchases for your school. This book brings AI and Python programming to the language and nuance of kids, and also beginner friendly, totally kid friendly for their access. So you can get this for your school, get it for the students in your school. So, but even as a teacher, this can be of great help to you. Okay, so this is a book that's gotten so much worldwide recognition as we see here. So I'm just going to pause here. There are the requirements for certification. You must attend the training sessions with a registered email. You must also have at least 80% attendance across all the training sessions, and all your daily quiz must be completed. If you have missed out on any of this, please do not be afraid. Do not stop the classes. Please just make sure you make up for in all the other classes. And by the end of the training, those who meet the criteria for certification will be certified. You can also access our annual report here. So I wish us the best of learning today. I will hand over now to my colleague Linda, who will take us in the hands-on session. So thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to seeing more people participating and having the best of learning experience. Over to you, Linda. Okay, so while Linda is getting ready to set up, if we have any questions on the class from yesterday or from other days, we can just drop them in the chat window. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Fumini. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's class, day 4 of our convention. So yeah, let me share my screen so that we can, just as Fumini just said, if you have any question, please drop on the chat box so we can help answer you. Okay, right, so let's dive in. All right, can you indicate with a yes on the chat box?
Yes, we can.
Okay, yeah, so once more for today, right? For the previous days, we started with programming. We talk about calculations we can do with Python programming. We looked at different data types, different data structure. Data type, we are talking about integers, strings, Boolean, and floats. Data structures, we looked at lists, tuple, sets, dictionary, and we all did this in detail. So today, let's look at another dimension of Python or something else you can use your Python programming to do. So today we'll be talking about loops and branching, okay? We're talking about loops. So what do you stand to gain today? How to work with control statements to make some decisions in Python. How do you control, how do you condition what you want to do in Python, okay? How to use for and while loop to perform some operations. So how to use that for loop, we have the while loop. So today we'll be looking at how to use these two loops to output or use this two loop to condition your statement or your code, okay? Then we'll also look at continue and break statements. So we'll find out what continue and break statement is and what it does for you in Python. Okay, so conditional statements in Python. Yeah, so majority of the time when programming, we will need to control the flow of our logic, right? Our program will want to perform an action in only certain cases. So we can use the if, else, and else statement to control these cases. Let's walk through some example. Okay, so let's start today's class by talking about if statements or if else statements. So these are control statements in Python, okay? You use this statement to control what you want or to, condition what you want to be outputted for you, okay? Now, the format for an if statement is if. So the keyword there is if. So you start with if keyword, then the expression is, what is the expression you are trying to? Hello, sorry. Please, can you mute?
If you were to two hang up, two. Okay. Mistakenly
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, please, let's go.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, I was talking about if statement, right? And I'm talking about the syntax of if statement. What is the syntax of if? So you want to use if statement. What is the syntax? So the syntax is, that is the keyword here. If, then the expression, that's the expression you are trying to tell Python to. That's if such expression holds. Statement means this is what you do, or such expression is false, do this, right? Else, do this. That means if this does not hold, you can do this. If expression, use column. This column is very, very important because you might just miss this column and your code is throwing error. You will not even understand why your code is throwing error.
About
Column. Okay, so it's just a simple column that is making your code to fail. So the expression, the syntax is if expression, column, then the statement, else, another statement, else, another statement. Okay, now let's look at some examples. Please, can we mute?
Mr. Lekon, I would really advise if you can actually mute, if you can mute everybody in this section, and whoever has to talk, that would be better.
Can we go on? Yes, I think we can. All right, so we're looking at examples of using an if statement. So in this cell, we have x equal to 10 and y equals 22. Now, that's our key statement comes in, which is if. If, and this is our expression, right? Our expression is that if x is less than y, okay? So if x is less than y, okay, we have column. Please don't forget your column because that can mess up your code. If x is less than y, what is the statement here? Print x is less than y. Else, that means if this condition does not hold, print x is greater than y. Okay, so it's very, very easy. If x is less than y, column, I'm stressing this column because we forget it, okay? If x is less than y, column, put in your statement, which you want to be, or what you want the output to be. Else, you can see too, after the else, we also have a column, okay? After the else, we have another column. Print this. So that means if this statement holds, print this, or if this condition holds, print this statement, else print this second statement. So right now we have that our x is less than y, which is 22. So that's is printing that x is less than 1. So this condition holds and is printing the first statement for us. Okay, let's look at another example. So we also have our x as equal to 10 and y equal to 22. If, which is our keyword, our condition, which is x less than y, print, remember our formatting, we are formatting here. Please, can you hear me? My internet. Okay. I should zoom my class. I hope it's clearer now. Okay, we can hear you. All right, thank you. Zooming. All right. Okay, so if X is less than Y, print. So remember, we talked about formats, how to use your formatting. We just apply that here. Remember in our last class, I said that F, when you see F here, starting a statement or starting, it means that you are trying to format that statement, okay? I remember I still said that we format with our coily bracket or coily braces. So now we are formatting that X is equal to this X. So this X is inside this format here, and this Y is inside this format here. So if this holds, print this first statement, else print the second statement. That X equal to 10 is less than Y equal to 22. Okay. All right. So these are more examples. These are more examples. Okay. So this one we are trying to print even and odd numbers. Okay. So we started with our that X is equal to 7. So here we have a variable X declared as 7. We have variable X, which is equal to 7. So we are saying that if our X divided by 2, remember this sign, your modular sign is used to output your remainder. When after dividing, whatever is remaining is the modulus there, right? So if X modulus 2 is equal to 0, that means after dividing X by 2, if the remainder is equal to 0, print X is an even number. We all know that even numbers, when you divide an even number by 2, you always have 0 as remainder. Okay, so that is what we are doing here. If X divided by 2, the remainder is 0, print X is an even number, else print X is an odd number. So right now, our X here is 7. And when we divide 7 by 2, of course, we are not going to have 0 as our remainder. And so that is why this condition did not hold. Because it did not hold, the if statement did not print. Instead, the else printed our result. I'm giving to the if, but our first statement is not printed. Go and print the else statement. Okay. All right. So okay, this is an example. Write a Python if else statement that checks whether a given value is even or odd number. Okay. So it says we should check whether a given value is even or odd number. All right. So input statements. Remember to get input from your user. Okay. Remember, so if we run this code, let me run it. So it's asking me to put in a number. So the assignment is to check if a number is even or odd. Okay. And so to check if even or odd, remember we're still using our modulus here because to check even or odd, we divide that number by 2. If the remainder is 0, it's even. If the remainder is not 0, it's odd. So let's try 55. Okay, and it prints the number you entered is an odd number and 55 is sure an odd number. So the code says if the first one says X equals to int, input, enter any number. Okay, now, so someone might be asking, why did I have to put int here? Okay, so by default, this our input keyword is of string data type. Okay, I remember very well that Ezekiel has taught us type conversion, how to convert from one data type to another. So whenever you are using input string data type, now if you know that the input you are getting from your user, you want to use it as an integer, or you want it to be an integer, because whatever we are trying to do now is an integer work. We cannot come and divide string by 2. No, that will throw an error. So because we are trying to work with integer and we're using our input statement, which is how we have it in front of here, right? So x equal to int impute any number. So this int means any number we are imputing now, which is supposed to be a string, is now converted to an integer. Okay, your number is remainder is 0, it prints the first code. If the remainder is not 0, it prints the size divided by 0. All right, so these are other examples, all the same. Okay. Okay, so here we have something unique here. We are using AND. So we are using our AND here. So we have this A equal to 10, B 13, C 16. And our condition says if A is greater than B and C is greater than A. So this AND here means that these two conditions must be true for AND to be true. That means A has to be greater than B and C has to be greater than A for this condition to hold. But if this condition holds, print that both conditions are true. Else, print that none of the condition is true. So why I'm highlighting this example is because of the AND we have here, okay? Which means you can introduce your AND operation in your condition statement. You can introduce your OR operation in your condition. So now looking at this code, we look at A. A is 10. Is A greater than? So is A greater than B, right? So A, this is less than, right? I hope I know my signs. Okay. So none of the condition is true. Okay, see that none of the condition is true because here A is not greater, so 10 is not greater than 13, and C, which is 16, is greater than 10. But because we are using and for AND operator to hold, the two condition has to be true. But because one is true and one is false, this first statement is not going to print. And that's why our else statement is printing out. All right. Okay, now let's look at if, elif, else statement. Okay. So now this is used to do more. I have more and more and more statements to check, or more and more conditions to check, right? I'll be using my elif statement, and this is it. So if you always start with an if x equals y, print first condition is true. Else, if, okay, somebody says I am fast. Oh, okay, I'm fast. Please, where are you? Where do you want me to? Where are you? Where do you want me to? Where do you want me to repeat? Where do you want me to repeat? Please, I'm looking at the chat box. Ask your question. Okay. So I've been just saying the same thing. Example 6. Example 6. Okay, I'm in example 6. Example 6 says, example 6 has 3 variables here. Just we are testing numbers here. We have that A is equal to 10, B is 13, and C is 16, right? And it says if A is less than B, and C, if A is greater than B, if A is greater than B, we are still using our if-else statement here, okay? If A is greater than B and C is greater than A, print this, else, print that one. So what does this no, it will now come to the next statement, which is and look at C, 16, look at A, 10. Is 16 greater than 10. Yes. But then if this condition is true, why didn't he print this one? So why did he not print the first statement? Because we are using and here. And I remember very well that Ezekiel taught us and or operator. For an operator to work, the two conditions must be true. Okay? The two conditions must be true. What do you mean by true? Here is false. This A is greater than B is false. It's not true because 10 is not greater than 13. C is greater than 10. Yes, 16 is greater than 10. But because A is not greater than 13, and is false, right? So that means this condition did not hold. And because this first condition given to our if statement did not hold, our first print, both conditions are true, will not print. Is not true. Okay, second. All right. Okay, so now we are talking about if-else statements. We're talking about if-else statements. So for our if-else statement, it's all the same thing. The only new thing here is that you are now using a leaf. So what does a leaf? A leaf helps you to add more condition to your code. You start with if this is equal to this, print this, else if. So a leaf is like else if this one is this, do this. Else if this one is this, do this. If you finished or you've come to the final one you want, you can now close with your normal else. Okay, what am I saying here? We are saying that x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 6. So I started my statement with that. If x is equal to y, print first condition is true. Else, if x is greater than y, print second condition is true. Else, if x equal to 100, print third condition is true. Else, print none of the above conditions are true. So what would my code do? My code print to 100? No, this third statement is not going to print. So what we print, the else one, since my 3 if else statement is not true, is now going to print the else. So that's why we have none of the above conditions are true printed out here. Okay, and that's how you use your leaf statement. We have another example here. And we have if equal to y, print first condition is true. Is my x equal to y? No. So this first statement is cancelled. Is my y greater than x? Yes, because 6 is greater than 2. Second condition is true, and that's why we have second condition true printed out here, because this condition here is true. So we have this statement printed out. If we decide to go to the third one, is x equal to 100? No. So this is not true, and this will not print. Okay. So, and that's how you use your if-else statement. Any question, please? Because we want to move to the next loop. We are done with if, elif, else. Are you fine? Any question? I'm looking at the chat box, looking for question. Should I move on? I'm okay, great, okay. Ajol, okay, I'm okay, great. Okay. All right, so let's look at loop. Let's look at loop. So we have two types of loop. We have the for loop and we have the while loop. We have for loop, we have while loop. Okay, so let's look at how to use the syntax of this loop. For a for loop is used to iterate over a sequence of objects such as lists. Okay, so this, I have a question, says this elif doesn't work with and or all, right? It does. This elif doesn't work with. It's not just the way you can the way you can put in your condition if you're using an if. Your condition can be anything if you're using a leaf too. Yes, it depends on what you want to do. So a for loop is used to iterate over a sequence of objects such as list, tuple, set, or a dictionary. So iterate, this time around we are talking about iterating, repetition. I'm trying to iterate over something, or I'm trying to move through a sequence of objects. I'm trying to move through a sequence of items or series of items. That is where my loop comes in. Now, the syntax of for loop is for is the keyword. Okay, for is the keyword. Item, okay, your item can be, okay, let me start it like this. For is the keyword, right? Object, let's go to object. Object is can be variable, it can be the list, it can be the set you want to iterate over. Now, item is the values inside your object. Okay, let me take it again. For is our keyword, our Python keyword for, okay, which will help us do the iteration. Then items are values inside your object. And now what is your object? Your object is the list you are trying to iterate over, or the list you are trying to move through the values, okay? Now, the statement to do is, when I'm looping through these values, what should I do? What do I want Python to do for me? Python, as you are looping through these values, or you are looping through these items, be doing this, okay? And that is what the statement to do means. So again, the syntax for loop is for item in your objects, for item in your objects, column. Don't forget your column again, then your statement, all right? Okay, so here it says the naming of the item is completely up to you. It means that your item, you can name it anything. I can say for I in my object, for Linda in my objects, for K in objects. Your item can be named anything. It doesn't matter. As far as it's pointing to the object you are looping through, it can stand as anything. Okay, so let's look at some examples here of using for loop. Okay, so here I have fridge. So this is list of fruits. So, okay, so list of fruits inside my fridge. Okay, so list of fruits inside my fridge. I have mango, orange, apple, lemon, banana, grape, cherry, avocado, watermelon. Now I want to loop through my fruits inside my fridge. Okay, I want to look through them. Maybe I have this fruits endless. There are plenty of them. I don't even know what I stocked inside my fridge. And now I'm asking Python to display everything I have inside my fridge for me. So I'll now tell Python for fruits. Okay, this is fruits here stands for your item in your syntax. For fruits in fridge. So this is the fridge. This is the object I'm looping through, or this is the object I'm iterating through. Okay, for fruits inside fridge, print the fruit out for me. So what will Python do? Python will come for fruits. It will go to the first fruits inside this fridge. Of course, this fruit inside the fridge. It will print mango. It moves to orange and print orange. It moves to apple and print apple. It moves to lemon, like that until it has exhausted all the fruit. It has finished printing out all the fruit inside your fridge. How for loop work? Remember, for item in objects, column, then your statements. Okay, for example here, for fruits in fridge, fridge is the object and is a list of fruits inside the fridge. Okay, all right. So we have one tip, a very, very important one. Somebody say, what happened? Fruit is called upon, please. Fruit. Okay, so this fruit is the item here. And I said that your item can be anything. Okay, let me change this to fruit. I don't want to call it fruit anymore. I don't want to call it fruit. I want to call it for K. Let's call it a K. Forget about that word, fruit. For K in fridge. Okay, if I run this code, let me see. Oh, okay, name fruit is not defined. I have to change this to K2. And I run. I have the same result. So please, whatever name here does not matter. Whatever you put here is pointing to the values. So what matters here is your object, what you are looping through, and that is the fridge. That is the main important thing here, is the object you are looping through, which is this fridge, which is the fridge you have defined here. Okay, put here as your item is going to go inside that your fridge. It will go inside your object and find the values inside your object. This time around, my object is fridge. So please, whether I call it fruit or K or me or it doesn't matter. I just am pointing to the values inside your objects. Thank you. So this tip, code identification, is very, very important. Okay, because so what mean by code identification in Python is very important, because if I start this, let's say I put this print back here, I put it back. Let's run and see. Expected and indented block. You see, is expecting an so when the good and so these are more example we have. I have in my list print number raised to power 2. So that's print the square of those number. So what output? Print square one of 1 is 1. Square, when you square 2, you have 4. When you square 3, you have 9. When you square 4, you have 16. And that is what this code is saying. Remember that our asterisk is used for double asterisk means raised to power, okay? Raised to power 2. Number raised to power 2, double asterisk. If you have one asterisk, that is multiplication, but double asterisk means raised to power, okay? So this is another example. I said for range, for I in range, you can see how this one is coming. Now, here I don't have any special thing I declared. For example, the way I declared list here. I'm using a range, and yesterday we talked about range. So here I say for I in range of 10, and if you can remember very well, anything in range of 10 means 0 to 9. Okay, 0 to 9. So for I in range of 10, or for I in range of 10, print I, then this is just some formatting, put a column for me, then give me the square root of my I. So now what Python is going to do is Python will say, okay, range of 10 means 0 to 9. Okay, Python will say, okay, 0 raised to power 0 is 0. It will move to the next range, which is 1. 1 raised to power 1 is 1. 2 raised to power 2 is 4. 3 raised to power 3 is 9. 4 raised to power 4 is 16. And that way, and that is what this code here is saying. So for I in range, if I put this in range of 15, so I'm going to have 0 to 14. And if I run my code, you can see I have 14 down here. So it's going to pick it's going to give me the raised to power of my number. Okay. You can also do for loop with string, right? For loop with string. Now I've declared my string to be Nigeria. Right? I declared my string to be Nigeria. So I'm now saying for character in country. So country is equal to Nigeria, right? So for character in country, print character. Please, if I call this character does not mean it can't call it anything. Don't get confused. This character is just going to look for your character inside Nigeria, the individual character inside the word Nigeria, or the individual character inside the string Nigeria. Okay, so for character in country, remember we declared country as Nigeria. This is our variable country, which is our object, and we say that this our object is equal to Nigeria. So for character in our object Nigeria, print out the characters for me, and it's going to print Nigeria, right? Any question? I'm looking at the charts. Okay, there are no questions here. Okay, I hope you're understanding. If you are confused, please feel free to drop it on the chat box. I'll see it and I'll answer. Okay, so this is a tuple. Yes. So now when you declare a list using a square bracket and comma. So this is a list, and then scrolling down, this is a tuple. I hope you can see the difference. List is starting with a square bracket, while tuple is starting with, you're declaring your tuple with a parenthesis, your bracket. So this is a tuple of teachers' names. So I have teacher Kunle, Shade, Abudlai, Jamal, Halima. So now I want to list my teachers, and I'll say for teachers in teachers' name. So this is my object or my variable. That's for every teacher inside this my object. Print, this is our format. So this is Kunle, this is Shade, this is Abudlain. So it's just the same example, but this time around we're working with string and tuple. Okay, so just the first thing I want you to know is the keyword for item, which is the value you are trying to point to. In object, that's the object containing the value. Column, very important. Okay, then down after your indentation, that's your space. Then you say what you want Python to be doing for you as Python is iterating through your values. Okay, so these are another example we have. This one is a dictionary. Okay, I hope you remember this is a dictionary. We talked about dictionary yesterday. Key and value. This is key and value. Nigeria is the key and the value is 60. Kenya is the key, the value is 69. Okay, so we are iterating through our dictionary right now. For country in life expectancy dot keys. So remember, for you to remember yesterday, Ope explained this very well for us. For you to access your values, you need your keys. Okay, all right. So, but this time around, we're not even printing out. We are trying to see our keys. Remember the different method of a dictionary. We have items, we have keys, we have values. Okay, so remember this was taught to us yesterday. So for country in life expectancy dot keys. So life expectancy is a dictionary. Key is a method of a dictionary. Okay, so print country. So it's going to come to this dictionary called life expectancy. It's going to look for the keys, which we know these are the keys. Nigeria is a key, Kenya is a key, Uganda is a key, Ethiopia are the keys for us. And this key, we call it country because these are. So for year in life expectancy, year is the value. Nigeria key value 60, Kenya key 69 is the value. So here our values, and we are using dot value to call those values. So yeah, okay, so let's see this particular example. Now it says for country expectancy dot keys. So we are calling keys. Number one, print the country. Also print life expect. Now what is this? And for you to assess your value, you need your, so here we have called on the key. Here, also print. So inside our key, square brackets here, is now referring to the value, okay? The values inside this country. Then, so print, so these spaces here, this is our result. Oh, okay, so life is not defined. Let me run this. After running this results, you can see out Nigeria. This second code is printing out 60. This last line is moving them to a new line. You can see this last line /n is moving them to a new line. Okay. So any question? We are moving on. Any question? It says, why not life expectancy dot values? Well, you can also access it that way. Please, if you want, that works. You can access it through the values. So we are just exploring different ways to access your keys, different ways to access your values. Please explain. Please explain what? Explain what? I said yes. Please explain. Please, what do you want me to explain? Okay, he said, okay, got it. Continue, please. Okay. All right, so moving on. Now let's talk about something else. So introduction to break and continue in Python. So we use break or continue statement to alter the flow of a normal loop in Python. As you know, loop iterates over a block of code until the text expression is false. Sometimes we may wish to terminate or stop the current iteration or even the whole loop without checking text expression. Therefore, we use break and continue statement in these cases. So what is this trying to tell us? So assuming now I'm iterating over 1 million values, or I have a list containing 1 million names. And then I don't want, I'm iterating such loop. Okay, somebody said enlarge your screen. I think I've done that before. I hope, okay, let's see, let me see. Okay.
Hi, Chimage.
Yes.
So the person can rotate his or her phone. Please, we can see it clearly here.
Okay. Okay, somebody said, I need to know what created the double space. Double space from where? Okay, from here. Okay, this space here, this double space here, no need to enlarge the screen. Okay, somebody has answered it for this. We are moving with a new line. See, we have a new line here. So we have this, okay? So please, let's go on. So we have the continue statement. So continue statement, as you said, is used to, I was explaining that, assuming you have names of 1 million people and you're iterating over these 1 million names, and you don't want your loop to get to the 1 millionth name. You want to either stop on the way, or you want to jump some names, for example, or let me say, for example, I have a list of numbers. Okay, I have a list of numbers. I want my loop to be printing the odd numbers and be jumping the even numbers, or I want my loop to count all the numbers. When it gets to probably 100, you stop, don't continue. Because if I mean that I have 1 million numbers and I'm looping through 1 million numbers, I mean that will take a long time, and probably I don't need the 1 million numbers. I just need 1 to 100. How do I tell my loop to stop at 100? Or how do I tell my loop, okay, I want only the even numbers? That is where break and continue statement comes in Python. So it's used to, alter the flow of your loop, or alter the flow of your iteration when you're iterating over through some values, okay? Now let's see how this loop works. Let's see how this loop works. We'll start with continue statements, okay? So now let's see, play around and see. Now we have fruits, we have list of fruits. This is our list of fruits. And then I'm telling my Python that for fruits in this, my object, that's fruit list. If fruit equal to orange, continue, and then print out the fruit for me. Now let's take it one by one. See what Python is going to do. Python has a for statement. Okay, fruits. Python will come and look at fruits. Okay, we have mango. Mango is inside fruits list. Okay, it now says, you now come to the second line. It will come to the second line and say, remember, we are using so many statements. We have for loop inside this code. We have if loop inside this code, if you can notice. So that tells us that you can actually combine, just once you know the basic, know how they work, you can combine any of them to achieve what you want to do. So we started with a for. So the Python is going to come to this for. Look at the first fruit here, which is mango. Okay, and you now say if the mango, so I'm calling this mango because I'm mango. If mango equals orange, which is no, mango is not equal to orange. Continue, print fruit, it will print mango. It moves to the next one, orange. Is orange equal to orange? Yes. Okay, is orange equal to orange? Yes. Continue. So what will happen here is that, because I've told you that when fruit is equal to orange, continue, it's going to jump this one and continue. So whatever statement you put here, if I say, let's change this to avocado, okay, yeah, and I run it again. Let's see what happens. It prints mango. Mango is not equal to avocado. It prints mango. Orange is not equal to avocado. It prints orange is not apple is not equal to avocado. It prints apple. But when it finally gets to where avocado is equal to avocado. It jumps the avocado and prints and goes to the next one, which is watermelon. It prints watermelon. So that's why maybe I have a series of number. I want to be printing out the even numbers, and I don't want to be printing out the odd number. What will I do? So let's say I have okay, let's do some example here. Let's now say for I in range, let me say range of 20, okay, which means 0 to 19. I put my column, and so I say if I modulus, that's if I divided by 2 equals 0, okay. So I put my column again and I said continue, all right, and I print I, all right. Okay, let's see. If you look here, we all have odd numbers. If you look at our answer now, all we have is odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. That's because for I, okay, so what I will do is I will come to range of 20, which is 0 to 19. It will look at 0. 0 divided by 2 will give you 0. So it will not print 0. So it's going to, it will jump 0. It will not print 0 because I've said continue here. It will not print 0. It moves to the next number, which is 1. 1 divided by 2 is not 0. It prints 1. It goes to the number, which is 2. 2 divided by 2 gives us remainder 0. Okay? And it jumps that 2. Because here I've given it a condition that any number that is even, please don't print that number for me. Okay? That is what I just did there. I hope this code was understood. So it's just, I've told Python that any number that when you divide it by 2 has a remainder of 0. This sign here is modulus, has a remainder of 0. Please don't continue. Don't just jump that number and continue. Jump that number and continue. Okay? So that is continuous. Let's look at another example here. You see, I have scores, list of scores of 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. And I say for score in scores, if score is equal to 50, continue. So what I'm now saying is, so by now we should know that this is going to print 20, this is going to print 30, 40, it will jump 50 and go to 60. Okay, somebody said, can you do odd number? Okay, so if I want to do odd number, what I'll do is I'll come here and put, okay, so I'm now saying not equal to 0. Let's see. I'm printing even number. I hope you can see that. So I said if if the number divided by 2 is not equal to 0, print. So which means I'm telling it not equal to 0, because anytime you divide an odd number by 2 is not equal to 0. I hope I answer your question. The person that said, can you do for odd numbers? So it's just to change your equal sign to not equal to 0, and you get that of odd numbers. Okay, so moving on. Moving on, this is another example. Egg weights. We have different weights of our egg. So for egg in egg weights, if egg is, okay, this is saying if egg is less than equal to 60, please continue. Or is this greater? Yeah, less than equal to 60. Okay, so continue. That means anything less than, you can see here, we don't have 59, we don't have 56, we have 61, which is greater than 60. 68 is greater than 60, 52 is less than 60. So, and that's where that's how your continuous statement is used. So it's used to alter your loop, it's used to alter your iteration the way you want it. Okay, this is more, and this is a class activity. Okay, so it says for val in Kaduna, if val is equal to u, continue. So we all know by now that our u is going to be jumped. And the next, and the code continues, or the loop continues. Okay? Any question on this? Apart from listing the value of I, can we use I equal to 1 to 20? Apart from listing the value of I, can we use I equal to 1 to 20? I don't think I get this question. So where did I list I? Let's see where my example. Okay, here. I hope you are talking about here. For I in range of 20, say apart from listing the value of I, can we use I equals 1 to 20? Nope. 1 equals 1 to 20. This is, unless you have to declare this as a list. Maybe I can. Okay, say, can we do initialization of values instead of range? Well, yes, now, of course you can initialize the value, sorry. Of course you can, but I think is range not the easier one, because initializing value means I'm going to write I equals, then maybe probably I open a list and then I start typing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know, up to 20. So I don't know if I got what you're trying to say. Range Yeah, so range, I think range makes it easier than, typing the number. Just define the range you want, and Python understands the range you want to work with. Sort of initializing them one after the other. So if I'm initializing numbers 0 to 50, keep typing from 0 to 50. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to break statements. Okay, we just past, yeah, break. So we've seen continue. So the next step one we want to look at is breaking statements. So just like continue works, continue continues your loop, and it does not stop your loop. It does not break your iteration, but break breaks it off. That means break stops it. Okay, so that's the difference. So difference between continue and break is that, well, whenever you put in continue is just going to skip the condition of it continue and keeps on looping over your values. But when you use break, it means you are telling Python to terminate that loop. Stop. Okay, I'm fine with the looping I've done. I want you to stop my loop at this particular point. And that's where the break statement comes in. So how does it work? Let's see example. I have my list of fruits inside my fridge again. Now for fruits in fridge, print the fruits. Then if fruit equals banana, break. So let's interpret this code one after the other. So Python is going to come for fruits, mango, that's the first fruit. For mango inside fridge, print mango. It will print mango. Then it will now come, after printing mango, it will now come and check. Is mango equals banana? No. So my loop is not breaking. It goes to the next one, orange. It checks for orange, print orange. Orange is not equal to banana. It does not break. It goes to the next one, apple. It comes to lemon until it gets to banana. When it gets to banana, it checks, prints banana. Is banana equals banana? Yes, it breaks up the loop. And so the grape, cherry, avocado, watermelon will not be printed. Python to break my loop at banana. Okay, and that is how break works. Let's see another example. I also have my fruits again. So let's look at the difference between this first code and this second code. Okay, so number one, we have print in the first code before the if statement. Okay, and then in the second code, we have if statement before print. Remember, the first code will check for the fruits, print the fruits before it will go and check the if condition. But this second statement, we are still at grape, right? So this second statement is going to check for the fruits, mango, yes. Is mango equal to banana? No. So should I break? I print mango. I go to the next one, orange. Is orange equals banana? No. Should I break? No. I print orange. I go to apple. Is apple equals banana? No. Should I break? No. I print to the, is banana equals banana? Yes, I just break. So that means my banana is not going to be printed. But in this first one, remember where our benchmark is equal to banana, but banana is printed. And that's because we asked Python to print before it will break. But in this case, we're asking Python to break before you print. It all depends on what you want to do, okay? Break can come before print, or print can come, your break statement can actually enter anywhere you want it to be, anywhere you want it to be. So it depends. Just know that any cell or any code you go to Python interprets it as you write it, okay? Python just goes that way and interprets your code and outputs whatever you have asked it to do, okay? So this is some class activities which will be given to you later, all right? So this one is, okay, we are trying to print even numbers too. We are printing even numbers, okay? And this even number has a condition. Number one is that this is our even number, okay? And I say for number in numbers, if number divided by 2 equal to 0, print that number. Now, in this, remember we are looping through this number. As you are looping through this number first, you are telling Python, as you are looping through this number first, if the number divided by 2 equal to 0, print that number. Then, as you are printing the even number and you get to a number 35, that means if number is equal to 35, break. So what will it do? It will come to this first number, divide 751 by 2. The remainder is not 0. It will not print it. It goes to 202, which is an even number, it prints. It goes to 784, even number, it prints. It keeps going, keep printing even number until it gets to this 35, which is the condition we have given to it here, and then it breaks. That means whatever that comes after 35 is not iterated over, okay? And so I hope by now you get continue and break, all right? So any question for continue and breaking? I'm looking at the charts. Any question? Okay, so we continue, right? Good session, thank you. Continue. Okay, now let's look at while loop. We've been dealing with for loop. We've been dealing with for loop. Let's look at another loop we have in Python, which is called the while loop. Okay, so a while loop will repeatedly execute a single statement. So a while loop is more used for, iteration. Oh, we all know we're iterating, right? A while loop will repeatedly execute a single statement or group of statements as long as the condition being checked is true. So what is this saying? You also give a condition to your while loop. As far as that condition is true, your while loop keeps going. So, your while loop keeps going as far as your condition is true until the while loop meets a condition where the condition does not hold again, it will terminate. Okay, so let's look at the syntax. Why your expression, okay? So why this condition holds, do this, just like every other one we've been encountering. Why this condition holds, do this. So that is how your while loop comes. So let's see examples. So I have number equals 1, okay? I have a number equals 1, and I say, why my number is less than 10? Why my number is less than 10? Print number. Why number is less than 10? Colon. Remember, you don't always forget this colon. I might not be mentioning it, but I just want it to stick in your head that you always use this in your conditional statements. Why number is less than 10? Print down number. Then what is this code doing? This code here is going to increment the number. Remember, we are starting with numbers 1. So I'm telling Python, why my number is less than 10? Print number. And then increment that number by 1. Let's run this code and see what we're going to have, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 9. So let's explain it. Number, we are starting with 1. So at this level of here, my number is equal to 1. Is 1 less than 10? Yes, I print 1. After here, my number at this level is 1. I have printed that 1. I'm still working with 1. So that means the number that will be here will be 1. So I now do 1 plus 1, 2. So I've incremented my number. So we go back, check for 2. Is 2 less than 10? Yes, I print 2. Then I come back to this code, I increment my 2 by adding 1 to it, 3. I check for my 3. So this will keep happening until I get to 9. After getting to 9 and I increment my 9, I have a 10, okay? And so when my number here is 10, is 10 less than 10? No, 10 is not less than 10. And so since 10 is not less than 10, my while loop is going to terminate because I don't have any other number less than 10. So I started with 1, I keep incrementing until I get to 9, increment my 9, I have 10. And when I had my 10, I checked my condition and I found out that my condition is no longer true. I terminate it. Okay, somebody said, in the while loop, what will happen if there's no increment in the number line? So if you don't increment, right, this will keep printing 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 till I don't know. Yes, it will keep printing 1. Okay, so it will keep printing 1. So if you are not, because I mean, it's not, there's nothing is checking anymore. It has checked 1. 1 is less than 10. It prints 1. It's still having 1. It checks another 1. 1 is less than 10. It prints the 1. It's still having 1. It checks 1 is less than. It keeps printing 1. Okay. Yeah. So that is what this increment code here is doing here. Okay. So, oh, we even have a warning. You must remember to increase number, either number plus 1, or else the loop will continue forever. You can see we have here that the loop will continue forever if you don't increment. Okay, this says if the number is 2 and not 1. Yes, of course, it's going to be incrementing by 2. So let's increment by 2. So I'm going to have 1 plus 2, 3. My next number will be, I'm going to enter. You can see what I have. So instead of having, so my first number is 1. I increment 1 by 2, which is 3. So the next one will be 3. I increment 3 by 2, which is 5. I increment 5 by 2, 7, and we move on like that. So yeah, the increment number can be changed. Of course, I changed now to 2. So that is how it works. I have another example. I started with not 1, so the same thing. Okay, so here you can see I'm starting with my A as 8. Here I'm not even starting with 1. I'm starting with 8. And why 8 is less than 20, print, just here is our format, we know. So here is our format. So, and we are incrementing with 1. So we'll have 8, 9, 10, and so on. Okay. Yeah, we have 8, 9, 10, and so on. And that's how your while loop works. Okay, so okay, here, so we want to print number that is less than 20. We are printing number that is less than 20. Okay, so why we started with our x equal to 5. Sorry, our x equal to 0. Now, why x is less than 5, print x is currently, then print x. Then move to a new line, add 1. So why x is less than 5, print x is currently, and that's what we have. So it will check 0. 0 is less than 5. It will print x is currently. Then it's going to print that x, which is 0. Then moving to a new line. See here, we have new line, adding 1 to x. So what we do, print adding 1 to x in a new line. You can see adding 1 to x. X is currently 1. So it has added 1 to it. So Python interprets your code as you write. Yx is equal to 5, 0. First of all, you want your Python to print x is currently. Python pretend that for you, x is currently. You want it to print the x. At this point, x is at 0. It printed 0. Then you told Python to go to a new line here and print adding 1 to x. It printed adding 1 to x. And then after adding it here, it came here and added it, which is x is currently 1. Okay? And the same way, after adding 1, here we now have 1, which is also less than 5. It will print x is currently here 2. We have added 1 to it, and we have 2. So 1, 2. So that's just we're incrementing here. So after printing all this, increment and go back, or as far as this x is less than 5. So this loop is going to stop after we meet probably 5 is equal to 5. So which means our loop will terminate at 4, because by the time you add 4 plus 1, you have 5. When you go back to our condition, which is x is less than 5. 5 is not less than 5. So our loop is going to terminate. Okay? Yeah, our loop is going to terminate. So warning again, be careful with the while loop. There is a potential to write a condition that always remains true. That is, you have an infinite while loop. If this happens to you, you can stop or restart your kernel. Exactly. So in case, because we are learning, right? In case you are writing a while loop, and in some way you do not put your increment, or you do not put any condition that will make your loop, you do not put any condition that will make your loop to terminate. So it's actually going to be running, at some point it will hang up your system. So what you do is just close up your Jupyter notebook, close up your kernel, and start again, okay? And everything will be fine. So so this is all, doing our continuous statement with our while loop. So using continuous statement inside while loop. Why I is less than 10. So this is very, very explanatory. Using our continue, we know our continuous statement. So this is using our continuous statement inside our while loop. This is also using break statements inside while loop. It's just the same syntax. It's the same thing. There's nothing in this. So that is what this is saying. Okay. So this is a general tips of our syntax. Remember, for your condition, your statement, okay? For your condition, remember your column and then your statement. Why this condition holds, what should happen. Always remember your column. If you're working with if condition, column, and your statement. If elif is used for if something, elif, another thing, something, or else. Okay, so yeah, and that is it for today. So please, questions. This is time for questions, please. Well understood. Okay. Okay, somebody say, explain the continuous statement using while loop. Okay. So, okay, let's say now, for example, see this number. I have number equal to 0. Okay, so I'm trying to achieve continue the next iteration if number is 7. Okay, so now I have my number equal to 0. And I'll say, why my number is less than 10? So any number is less than 10, we are talking about 0 to 9, right? Any number less than 10, we're talking about 0 to 9. Why my number is less than 10? Number equal to 1. I'm doing my increment here already. Okay, so number equals to 1. So I'm starting with 0. I have incremented my 0 to 1 in this line of code. Now, if number is equal to 7, continue, then print that number. So Python will come and take 0. It will check 0 is less than 10. Yes. It will increment 0. Okay. 0 is less than 10. If after incrementing 0, that means at this point, we are now in 1 because we have added 1 to 0 to turn to 1. Now, it will not check if the 1 is equal to 7. No, it will print. It will also check if 1 is less than 10. Yes, it will increment 1 to 2. Is 2 equal to 7? No, it will continue and print 2. It will do like this. When we get to 6, it will increment 6 to 7. Okay, it will now check is number equal to 7? Yes, it jumps. It will not print 7. It will jump 7 and move to the next one, 8. So it's just the same thing. So I'm telling why this condition is continue, or why this condition is break. Just the same way we did it in the other one. It's the same. The only difference is that In the other one, we are using for this and this, continue, or for this and this, break. The same way this time we're now doing why this is this, continue, or why this is that, break. Example, yeah. So and that is it for today's class. Yeah, so I hope everybody understood, so that when your quiz comes to you, you can, tackle the quiz with ease. So thank you. Over to you, Fumini. We can end the session.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all participants. Thank you for joining. Thank you for staying. And thank you for learning with us. So quiz, feedback form to take your questions. If you have questions on the class together, we can review tomorrow. And also to get feedback on the class, the videos will be sent to the chat and via email. So if you can just add this on the feedback form, that will be sent to you shortly and to be taken tomorrow. All right, cheers everyone, and see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening.